Hi, this is Brian for ProxiGuard, and I'm here to give you a little overview on the ProxiCloud system. So the first thing you're going to do is open any web browser that you prefer. Google Chrome works fine, and you'll go to this website right here, ProxiPatrol.com. In here, you're going to put the name of your company. Usually, if you're not aware, we can always send you information on that. Or if not, you can just look at the email that you initially received. That'll have all your information. Then from there, you'll put the username and password. Usually there's like a default one for you to go in. And then you can change it on your end, but just in case, you can always also ask. So we're going to log in here. And the first thing you'll see is this little page here. It'll have the start communication, download messaging clients, and you'll use this to communicate with the reader in some necessary cases. But let's go over some of the quick basics first. So first thing you're going to want to look at when you first get the account is when you go to card setup, you'll probably get checkpoints named like this. And usually with the checkpoints, they'll have labels on them with the number written on them. So if you want to change the name, for example, you'll see this one's checkpoint 1. You'll just have to find checkpoint 1 in the checkpoint stack. You'll go to edit, and from here you'll give it a name that you want. And then because you know that you changed checkpoint 1, you can just hang that one up wherever you want. And then you'll do that with all the other ones that you want to change the name. You can also do this to staff cards, which are used to identify the guards that are going to be working. So whenever somebody scans that, you'll be able to know that all their scans are related to, in this case, Brian. But as well, this is changeable. From the other section I want to look at is the route setup. And in here, you will have, these are all basically like, one of the readers. And each reader will be associated to a specific checkpoint, so that way some checkpoints are related to site A, and the other ones might be related to site B, so you'll have a separation. So in this case, you'll see that all these are related to each of the 5 checkpoints, but you can separate them so that way it'll only read what you want them to read. Other than that, you've got the schedule setup, which you can just do like a basic schedule that'll last like 24 hours or whatever kind of amount of time you want. And for that, it's pretty simple. You just add one, put the name, put what kind of time you want. Usually you don't want to have a specific person do it, but you can as well. Then you'll just add it here and then save down here, and then you'll have a schedule set up. So if you want to see how accurate they were during the day, this helps. And usually we'll create like a basic one on most accounts, but just in case. The other thing I wanted to look at is the different kind of reports. The basic report is the one you'll probably be using the most. You can filter this by any specific reader, or you can filter it by all the readers related to the account. And I don't have any data right now, but when we come back to this, you'll see exactly what kind of data you can see. Misscan report is another similar thing. You can look at all so obviously we haven't been scanning at all, so you'll see that it shows missed over here. And so this is good at getting an idea when you have the schedule set up, what kind of checkpoints you've hit and what you've missed. The next thing I want to look at is the frequency report, which is basically how many times a specific point has been hit. Now, again, there have been no scans recently, so you'll see that these are all 0, but you can sort of get the idea that if they've hit this like 5 times during the day, you'll see 5 here, and then what specific times they hit it on that day, and then by who, when it was hit, and so on and so forth. The next one is the graphical report, which is very similar to the misscan report, but it'll show instead of in a graph type of manner or a pie chart. And you can see that I've missed all of them because we haven't done anything. But if you want to get the quick data without having to look at the specifics, this is a great and quick way to look at how much they've hit and how much they've missed. And then the impact and alarm report are just extra features. But this will tell you if there's been any impacts on the reader itself. And the alarm report is if you're actually using alarms, but in general, you won't probably use that. Now, the last major feature that I want to look at is the live data. And the way this works is you'll have all your readers set up here to monitor. And what will happen is when I scan a point, it will show up here in real time. Now the first scan is going to be a little slower than the other scans because it has to communicate with the system. But once you've got that first scan on here, the rest is quite fast. So just give it a minute. And there we go. Here it is. Shows what route it's from, what the card was, in case you need to know what card ID it is, the checkpoint name, so you'll notice it's checkpoint 5, who scanned it, which in this case it was Flavio, when it was scanned, and which device. And you can see here from the numbers that it belongs to this one over here. So yeah, I mean, it's basically that simple to use the live data feature. And now that we actually have some data, we go back to basic report and we click all, you'll see a little pop-up here. And then with this information, you can actually export this to PDF or Excel.